Jamila. I'm going to be doing the reconciliation, which is question 4. I've already done question 1 up to question 3. So this question consists of 2 parts, namely it'll be part A and part B. So the reconciliation relating to Fashion Fabulous. The information below relates to Fashion Fabulous, a trendy fashion business owned by Wilmer Fox. You are the auditor of the business, and you noted that after the posting had been done, there were a number of errors and omissions. You have the creditors list on 31st of March 2024. You've got the debits as well as the credits. And you'll notice that there's one creditor here that has a debit balance, and that is questionable. So there might be a mistake there. Please note that the creditors ledger or the creditors list must correspond with your creditors control. If it doesn't correspond, it means that there were errors or omissions somewhere. Now, here are the errors and omissions. And by the way, this is what we've got. You will notice that the creditors control balance is 147,044 and creditors list balance is 142,674. And these two balances must be the same. If they're not the same, the error must have been made in the list, and it's normally made in the list if it was recorded incorrectly in the creditors ledger. If the error was not recorded or the transaction was not recorded at all, it will affect both the creditor's control account as well as the creditor's list. However, if the error was only done in the journals, it will only affect the journal. If the error was only done in the creditor's ledger, then it'll affect the creditor's list only. And that's where they will tell you that it was correctly posted. It was incorrectly posted to the creditor's ledger or the ledger. That's when you know that it was done correctly in the journals. Therefore, the creditor's control is accurate. In that scenario, the mistake will be in the creditor's list. And in this list, we have corrections that the bookkeeper must make to the creditor's control in the general ledger and or to the creditor's list in the books of Fabulous. If no entry is applicable, you must write no entry short here pluses or minuses next to each amount. Okay, let's go to the first error. And I want you to tell me where the error was made. It says a credit invoice for merchandise purchased from Glamorous Glow on the 20th of March 2024 for 7,200 was not recorded at all. This will affect both the creditor's control as well as the creditor's list. It will affect both the creditor's control as well as the creditor's list. When we record it in both, you will write credit invoice and it is an omission of a credit invoice. And it'll increase both your creditors account by 7,200. So it's a plus. And in your creditors list, you'll also add 7,200. Number 2 says merchandise purchased on credit from Glamorous Grow of 11,900 was incorrectly posted to the account of Slick Style. So this amount was added to Glamorous Glow, and it was supposed to have been added to, well, it was added to Slick Style, and it wasn't supposed to have been added to Glamorous Glow. But what I want you to understand is that this is a credit purchase, and it's us buying goods. And since it is us buying goods, we incorrectly added it to Slick, so we will subtract from Slick 11,900, and we are supposed to add it to Glamorous Glow, which will be 11,900. Now, this case, it means that it really has no effect, okay? So the effect is that you will have to add the 11,900, and then you will have to minus the same 11,900. So instead of writing it like this, you can simply write it as plus minus 11,900. And when it comes to creditors control, there is no entry. Okay. Number 3 says interest of 516 was charged to Fashion Fabulous by Dream in Fabric as the account is overdue. This is an omission and it'll affect both the control account as well as the list. Because it was interest charged, we are going to add it to the creditor's control as plus 516, and we will add it to the list as plus 516. Number 4 says that a debit balance of retro work must be transferred to the account in the debtor's ledger. This one doesn't really affect it does actually affect the control. So what it's going to do to creditors control is to reduce your creditors control. You will record this in the general journal because you need to reduce it by what this person is. In actual fact, we're not owing them. Now they're owing us. So we reduce what we owe them because it says it was a debit balance. All right. If it is a debit balance, what it means is that we don't owe the creditor, but the creditor is owing us. However, that will reduce the creditor's control. Okay. Now, to make sense of this, I'll just do one simple thing here. So we've got creditors ledger, and in this creditors ledger, there is a negative balance of, okay, let me check what the balance was. Oh, there it is. So now this is on the debit side, meaning that, guys, it is on the minus side. We can't have a creditor that has a negative balance. So in order for us to actually correct this, we are going to put it on the credit side, which is the plus side. We'll put 2,160. I hope it makes sense. What this has done is that we have over reduced our creditors control. We need to take it to zero. So to take it to zero, we are going to add that 2,160. At the same time, in the list, we will still have to add it as 2,160. This will increase our creditors' control, but the increase is not because we are owing the creditor more. It's just to cancel the debit balance that was in the creditor's account. Number 5. A discount of 560 received from Slick Style was incorrectly posted to the creditor's ledger as 650. The amount in the general ledger is correct. Because this is a discount normally reduces what we owe the creditor. The discount was supposed to be 560. However, it was posted to the creditor's ledger as 650. It means that our creditor's ledger was over subtracted. But how much though? You will take the 650 and minus 560. It'll give us a difference of 650 minus 560. It'll give us 90. What this means is that our creditors list was over subtracted. So we need to add the 90 rand so that the subtraction can go down from 650 to 560. And when it comes to the creditors control, there will be no entry. Number 6, merchandise returned to Dream in Fabrics of 8,350 was incorrectly recorded as a credit purchase. And posted accordingly. So we returned merchandise to Dream in Fabrics of 8,350. But when we prepared their creditors ledger account, we actually added it. So now we need to go back there and subtract it. And because in the first place we were supposed to subtract, we are going to subtract it twice. So you will take this 8,350, multiplied it by 2. it'll give you 16,700. You will go to your creditors list. This has no effect on your control, so there'll be no entry. You will go to your creditors list and subtract 16,700. And I showed you that it was 8,350 multiplied by 2. Number 7. An EFT payment of 4,140 was made to Glamorous Glow. This is the amount after 10% discount was received for early payment. What this tells us is that this 4,040 is actually at 90% because the 10% has already been deducted. Now the payment and the discount were correctly recorded in the ledger account of Glamorous Glow, but no entries were made in the general ledger. Now, for this one, it means that the control account is the one that needs to be corrected and the ledger account is actually correct. Now, to correct it in the ledger, we need to subtract the full amount. To get the full amount, you will take that 4,040 multiplied by 100 and divided by 90. Note that the payment and the discount must reduce what we owe. And this will give us 4,600. Hence, under creditors control, we are going to subtract that 4,600 and there'll be no entry under creditors ledger. 160 in the creditors allowances journal for trading stock was posted to the wrong side of the creditors ledger account. Because it was posted to the wrong side, we will take that 160 and times it by 2. It was supposed to have been subtracted. Instead, it was added. That's what it means when they say it was posted to the wrong side. So now we are going to subtract it twice, but this only affects the list. So you will take that 160 times by 2. It'll give you 320. No entry in the control, but there's going to be an entry in the ledger. It'll be minus 320. Just want to go back to one of the entries here, which will be the entry number 6, all right? I didn't write where it was supposed to have gone. One thing that I did is that I subtracted that 16,700 only in the creditors list. Which has to do with the posting only. But they said it was incorrectly recorded as a credit purchase. And if it was incorrectly recorded as a credit purchase, it means it was recorded in the creditor's journal instead of being recorded in the creditor's allowances journal. So as a matter of fact, because it affects the journal, it also affects the control account. So what we need to do, I said no entry there. What we need to do, actually, there is an entry. We still need to subtract it as well, because it was in the creditor's journal and it was supposed to have been in the creditor's allowances journal. So we put it in the allowances to cancel the wrong entry, and then we put it again to make the correct entry. Okay, now you can start adding to check if this balance is off. You will start with 142,674. You will add 7,200, add 11,900 and minus it, which is the same as 0. Add 560, add 2,160, add the 90, minus 16,700, minus 320. It gives me 135,666. Actually, it's 64. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, 147 and 44 plus 7,200 plus 560 plus 2,160 minus 16,700 minus 4,600. It gives me the same amount. Therefore, everything we have done is correct. In the next question, they want us to prepare the age analysis for Elegant Age on the 31st of March 2024 in the books of Cinderella's Closet. In essence, we have to use this information over here. So this is information relating to Cinderella's Closet. Now we have the debtors ledger of Elegant Age in the books of Cinderella's Closet. Now, this is the debtors ledger we have. The balance that we start with in March will be 4,000. The current month, obviously, here will be May. Okay, that is the next question. It will be May. So what I like doing is to actually write these down. So I know that the current month will be May. Before May, we're going to have April. Then we're going to have March. Then we're going to have February, March, April, May. That 4,000 Rand will go to February, which will be 90 days. That is because it's balanced on the 1st of March. So it means it was balanced in February, all right? And then they gave us an invoice of 3,500 for March. That goes to the month it was issued. Then they gave us a credit note of 2,100. That will follow their invoice. They gave us an invoice of 17,230 for April. That goes to April. They gave us an electronic payment of 17,050. That will actually go to the oldest debt. So what we're going to do is to minus 4,000 Rand from 90 days, get the balance for 60 days, 3,500 minus 2,100. You're left with 1,400. We are going to pay the whole 1,400. Now let's check. It's 17,050 minus 4,000 we have paid, minus 1,400 that we have already allocated. We still need to allocate 11,650. It'll be allocated to the third oldest debt. Then we've got a discount of 650. The discount of 650 will follow the payment. I can't allocate it to the previous months because already there we've got 0 there, we've got 0 there. So I can't allocate it there, so I'll allocate it to this date. Okay. Then they gave us an invoice for May of 4220, 4320. That will go to the month it was issued. And then there was an interest on overdue of 180 that goes to the month it was overdue because it was created that month. And then we've got a receipt of 3,250. That's where I'm going to find the balance over here. Then I'm going to say 17,230 minus 11,650 minus 650. It'll give me 4,930. So that whole payment of 3,250 will be allocated to that. Now the balance will be 1,680. And the balance for May will be 4,500. This is all we are going to have. I just want to confirm that everything is actually correct here. It looks like everything is perfect. Unless my calculator gave me wrong answers here, everything seems to be perfect. Let me go to my creditors list and creditors control and double check there. No, these amounts don't correspond. Now it'll change all the totals, yeah? $142, $674 plus 7,200 plus 0 plus 516 plus 2,160 plus 90 minus 16,700 minus 320. This gives us 135, 620. Is there anything else? No. All right. That'll be it from me, guys. Thank you for watching, and I really appreciate it. Puzzle.